Good evening, everyone. I can't believe it. It's already the 8th discussion on the HQ Diaries. How's it going, Brian?
We're like James Bond. We keep coming back, so no, it's fun. I'm all right. Another Sunday. Nice day here. Just finished dinner. How are you doing, Abai?
I was pretty busy earlier today. Now just taking some time up to unwind, talk about HQ. You're done with dinner. I eat dinner pretty late, like closer to 8:30, 8:40. I'm trying to change that in the near future. I know I'm going to change it. In fact, I get up super late too. That's another thing that has to change. But yeah, I'm really excited for this discussion. We've got a new panelist. Brian, you want to do the intro?
Oh yeah, Ferg. I met Ferg a few years ago on Joyride. He's from Michigan. He knows a lot about sports, the Los Angeles Dodgers, but also he's a young guy. He's like you. He's a college student. He's good at Google. Yeah, let's bring these guys in.
All right, let's bring our callers in. Say hi to Micah. Let's say hi to Jeremy, and let's say hi to Ben. So how's everyone doing?
Doing good.
So I think a good place to start would be the Thursday quiz. So before Ben starts flexing on how he masterfully won it, which questions really got you? I think anyone can take this question.
Definitely the Appalachian Trail one. That was mine. That was the one I got wrong.
So that was the 5th question. Then you got everything else after that right. That's pretty crazy. Like, honestly, if I get something wrong before question 6, I feel I'm a goner.
I don't know how that happened. Like I told you after the game, because you were so ticked off. I told you after the game that I think I got super, super lucky. I had a good friend that I was going along with too and felt good about. So kind of how that happened, but.
All right, Micah, you want to share how you went on the Thursday quiz? Let's hear from you.
I'd say, ironically enough, I did pretty well. I got 0 wrong. I got 0 right. I actually missed the game. So okay. I was working during the game, so that's why I missed it. But I was looking over the quiz, and it's a pretty legit one. Just looking at it, I mean, there were a few of them that, off the top of my head, the Monopoly question I had in the bag, but I never would have guessed that trail question. And I've been around that area forever. I never would have guessed that it went all the way to Connecticut.
Now that I think about it, I was able to Google the Appalachian Trail, but I wasn't able to read every single state name in that 10-second allotment. So I was like, I don't know what to pick. I saw a bunch of teammates. I forget what option C was. I can bring up HQ buff. But yeah, in the heat of the moment, I just ended up following the teammates, and it is what it is. All right, let me just bring up HQ buff here.
Where would we be without HQ buff?
I guess if we didn't have HQ buff, probably I'd have to go to YouTube, the HQ archives, and then look at each question and then type it up in a Google Doc.
That's right. You would create it.
Tedious.
You should thank them for doing that, so you don't have to do all that.
True. They work really hard, and I think to say that they've done a great job would be a terrible understatement. But yeah, I think that was one of them. And let's see. Yes, it was this one. Question 9. The 3 of the stars within the constellation Leo have what name? So I had a feeling Felis was a trap, but I fell into it. I didn't know that there were stars named Wasp, and it took me nearly a minute of Googling to finally figure that out. So did anyone wait, Ben, how did you get question 9 right?
Like I said, that's one of them that really, it was the one friend that I had. They're actually, this week, I had 2 other friends, and then me were the top 3 of the leaderboard. So I think I'm just getting lucky with like who I'm following some of the time. But yeah, I didn't have any clue about that one. I just got lucky there.
Did you stick with C or did you switch into C?
I'm assuming I probably, because I think you were on Fearless. So I think I started on Fearless, but then I went to Wasp like at the last second.
Okay.
But in fairness, nobody could know that answer.
And you can't Google it in 10
Right.
seconds. So there's that.
Wouldn't you say, Ben, your friend was just lucky?
Yeah, I guess. I mean,
Yeah.
I was lucky based off of their luckiness,
Right.
too, probably.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I doubt that I don't know, unless you're an astronomy major.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. Yeah.
And then let's see, the Veronica Mars, interestingly, I was able to Google that one because I did know the band behind 3 a.m. and Bent, and I just had to Google who the lead singer was. And let's see.
See, that's the kind of thing I didn't have to Google.
Really?
Yeah, that's the kind of stuff I didn't have to Google. And for some reason, even though I've never seen Veronica Mars, I vaguely recalled that the lead singer, that the creator of Veronica Mars had the same name as Rob Thomas.
Oh, wow.
I said that wrong. I can't English today. I apologize.
That's impressive knowledge, Jeremy.
I don't know why I knew that, because I barely listened to Matchbox 20 and I have never seen Veronica Mars, but that's my forte, is picking up that knowledge that you don't necessarily have to be into something to kind of just get that knowledge. And that's why I like trivia, is that you don't have to be into it to pick up on certain things, and occasionally it wins a couple bucks here and there.
Right. By the way, that was number 10. What? How did go back to 10 with Veronica Mars?
That was 10.
Yeah. Go back. I can't see it. It says scroll down. I still can't see it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'll scroll. Also, we have Chi Hung in the background. I'll add him in here right now. So hello,
Toronto.
Chi Hung.
Hello.
All right. So we're going through the Thursday quiz, and then once we get through that, we're going to do the Kahoot. So, Chi Hung, first of all, how did you go?
Yeah, so this game, I had the misfortune of having a friend of mine. I was on the phone with him. I do play with him, so it's real life friend. I do play with HQ with him, but typically not over the phone. And it turned out he really messed me up. I think back in question 8, the one with Alf's home planet.
Question number 8. Okay,
yeah.
Scroll
so, he had. In a previous question, he got the the Appalachian Trail question correct. That was a Savage question.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess my mind wasn't. It was more accepting of what he was telling me. But he was like, "Oh, Micmac," which isn't actually Alf's home planet. Mac, that's obviously Apple. The computer. And I was like, well, that doesn't quite sound right. And then all my friends were jumping on plastic. But in that instant, I kind of believed them. And so I was like, okay, computer. There was another friend on my list who chose computer. And of course, I was eliminated after that. And so I sort of zoned out after that question. And like he did me wrong. So I did not win that night.
Yeah, so we were at question 10, right, Brian? You were asking for question 10?
Yeah, and I just looked at it. That's a legitimate question. I've even heard of Rob Thomas. I don't know those songs, but yeah, Matchbox 20, and then I guess I just looked at it. Veronica Mars is also Rob Thomas. So no, that's a tough but fair question.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And let's see, this one, the moment of force. I realized what it was pretty late, but I just couldn't put 2 and 2 together on that one. But fortunately, Q12 was something I knew 100%. Yeah, so Apple headquarters, that's one infinity loop. It's in Cupertino, which is not that far away from home for me. And the White House is 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. In fact, those are 2 things I knew off the top of my head. Didn't have to Google that.
I was surprised that there were almost a third of people that picked White House. Like, how do you make it that far in the game, but you don't know the
White House address?
Yeah. I got all those last ones right, which
is.
made me mad because I had been eliminated on question I think 5 or 6. I was already out with my 2 wrong answers, but I got all the 8 through 12 I got right, which is usually where I'm struggling in these games. But that game, I knew everything near the end, and it just made me really angry with that $30 prize.
Okay, we have a comment here. Did anybody check the Twitter engagement after the game? Is it better to have fewer winners hype a bigger prize versus more winners brag about a 50-cent win for the future of the app? Who wants to take this one?
I can. It's the $30, and I think HQ's figured it out. And we should make a pact, I think, going forward once a week that all the games are going to be tough. And I only get excited. Like Abai will tweet when he wins 29 cents. I try to tell Abai only tweet when you win more than $5. But no, I don't know. I mean, I think bigger games, for me, it creates particularly a free big game creates excitement. Ferg and I joke about this. Like when we win $1.11, we're happy. But if we lose $1.11, we don't care.
I know that for me, I'm even with the friend sharing and all that, I'm unlikely to ever win a game that has one of these like $30 prizes. So I'm going to play, sure, but eventually the excitement is going to wear off with these once a week games, winning these huge prize pot with 200 winners, 100 winners. And when I'm not one of them, I don't mind losing. It's not that so much, but when it's once a week, and if I don't find myself on the right end of any of it for like months on end, that is going to eventually, get a little tiresome. I'm not going to lie, to the point where why get excited about it? It's once a week. And I do think they run. Go ahead.
If you want to win, go play Swag Bucks.
No, and even that, I forgot about it every day this week except once because I just can't remember. It's 7:00 my time and then 2 p.m. on Fridays, and that just doesn't stick in my head like HQ does. And that's another problem they have is that they seem to be doing all right as far as compared to numbers as far as HQ, but it just doesn't stick in my head because I was playing HQ at 8:00.
I know, but forgetting about Swag Bucks is a good thing.
Yeah. I mean, because you're literally playing for 8 cents most of the time.
I should be quiet. I apologize. Swag Bucks, I'm the one that doesn't like it. Abai loves it and wants to work for you. So all these opinions are mine. Abai is a Swag Bucks lover. So Swag Bucks, he's not stalking you. He records every one of your games, and he said he wants me to watch it. He wants me to watch. I
loved it too when I was winning every game, but now that I've lost like the last 3 times I've played, I'm not sure if I love you, Swag Bucks. Getting mad over losing 6 cents or 17 cents is that's a new low for me.
I don't really beat myself over Swagbucks losses. But then again, I think the last 2 or 3 quizzes from last week, they actually did have a pretty savage question, but that came pretty late in the game. So that means a bunch of extra lives get dropped, and usually 9 and 10 are the conventional, easier ones. So honestly, what they're supposed to do, ideally, is make the savage question somewhere near Q3, Q4, maybe tops Q5. But yeah, and then after that, follow that up with a couple of semi-tricky ones because that's going to whittle down the field gradually.
I don't like that they put the easy ones towards the end, though. I hate that. They should do it the other way.
True. I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't mind that too, like occasional super difficult Q10.
But by Jeremy, that's why they do it. They want everybody to win. Swag Bucks is not for us. Swag Bucks is for housewives. Swag Bucks is for people that don't. Ferg knows, it's for people that never win anything. Abai, for the love of all things holy, stop recording Swag Bucks.
It gets me views.
Okay.
Record HQ.
There's already somebody doing that. There's the HQ archives and I think a couple of other channels that do
that's a good point. Well, record it in like 4K HD or something, so that you're doing what they're doing but better.
Well, that is the case with Swagbucks, to be honest.
Oh, well, fair enough.
All right, so everyone, can everyone go to Kahoot.it and the entry code? I'm going to send it in the private chat right here. It's 884-5337.
Oh, I missed it, so you're going to have to tell me again.
It's in the chat. So 884-5337.
All right. And do we? Is it Kahoot.com? What do we do?
Kahoot.it.
Oh, Kahoot.
Kahoot.it.
Kahoot IT. Oh, hold on.
He
Okay,
said
see, Ben's in.
he said Katoot.
Oh, here. Okay, now we're good. There. 8.
Okay, see. Okay, Chi of Steel is in. Okay, Ferg is in. Jeremy's in.
Well, I'm about to be in.
Mm-hmm. So before we start, shout out to some of our panelists. They've done well to craft a few nice questions. I'm not going to name names, but well done. Let's see here. Okay, everyone's in. Let's see. Yep, I think that's everyone. Let me just turn my screen share on, and we should be good to go. All right, here we go. One second. Okay, here it is.
What do we win, Abai?
Bragging rights.
All right. Okay.
How about a personalized video for Swag Bucks, just in case Brian wins? We can get him something from.
I'm gonna tank now.
All right, so everyone's ready. Okay, AM Steel is here. All right, I think. Oh, okay. Shubham is here, so we got 7 of us. I think that's a good number. Let's get into it. So it's the 3rd HQ Diary quiz. Second time we're doing it on Kahoot. Yep. So the frequency of HQ quizzes may have gone down, but we're compensating for that with our own HQ style quiz. So contestants, are you ready? And are the audience members ready too? So I'm going to channel my inner Regis, and I'm going to say, let's play. Q1. Upon receiving bad news, people are warned, don't shoot the who. Is it messenger, architect, or game show host? Yeah, don't shoot the messenger. Everybody got that one right. That's nice to see. Chi Hung with the fastest answer. All right.
He's got that Canadian internet.
Glaucoma is a condition that can eventually cause what? Is it blindness, deafness, or paralysis? Well, then again, it affects the eye and it causes blindness. So again, everyone getting that right. It's looking pretty close at the top. Q3, here it is.
In the place to be.
In the place to be. In addition to verbs, adverbs can modify all of the following except what? Adjectives, nouns, or other adverbs. It's nouns. So yeah, so this is a pretty interesting one. Adverbs, they can modify adjectives. For example, if I were to say very good, good is an adjective, very is an adverb. So there's one. And another example, an adverb modifying an adverb would be very slowly. Most adverbs end in ly. The only word that can describe a noun is an adjective. So those of you who pick nouns, 2 of you, well done. Okay. Here comes question number 4, and it's knocking on your door. Let's go. Which of the following phrases originated with its first word being an acronym? Is it a swag bag, is it an AppGuard score, or care package? So
Wow.
it's the care package. So AppGuard score, it was named after someone with the last name AppGuard, and that later turned into an acronym. And then let's see, swag bag is a swag bag, but on the other hand, the care package, the care stood for Cooperative for American Remittances to Europe. So the 2 of you who picked care package, excellent job. Well, okay. This is Chi Hung and Shubham running away with this game so far. Q5. for the children. Question number 5. The only non-American to coach on the U.S. version of The Voice is from which country? Is it the UK, Colombia, or Canada? So the only non-American to coach on The Voice is Shakira, and she's from Colombia. So 4, if you got that. Oh, Chi Hung is cleaning house right now after 5 questions. All right, question number 6, and it goes like this. Lord Tennyson's charge of the Light Brigade describes a battle fought during which war? Is it the American Revolution, War of 1812, or the Crimean War? So it's a Crimean War. Just a second here. Yeah, so it describes the Battle of Balaclava in 1854. That was part of the Crimean War. So 4 of you got it. Let's see what this does to the scores. Okay, so Chi Hung with a lead of more than 1,600 points. Chasers all pretty close together here. Yeah.
Before we go, can we do what the tournament did to John Ram and kick Chi Hung out? You guys know about that? The golf? We can be. I'm joking. Chi Hung, keep playing.
I have not tested positive.
Okay, yeah. Chi Hung, you're good. Keep playing, Chi Hung.
All right, let's. Okay, we were at question number 8. Here it is. Or 7. Sorry, the only sea that doesn't have land boundaries is named after what? Explorer, marine life, or ocean current? So it's the Sargasso Sea, and the Sargasso Sea is named after a sargassum. That's a type of seaweed, so that would be marine life. So 3 people got this one right. Okay, so Aaron and Brian catching up, but Chi Hung still ahead by a fair distance. Question number 8. Hope everyone's feeling great. Which of these is a capital of a U.S. state that is not doubly landlocked? Cheyenne, Des Moines, or Charleston? Okay, so Cheyenne is the capital of. So first of all, doubly landlocked means you need to cross 2 boundaries to access the nearest body of water. So that is the case with Wyoming, the capital is Cheyenne. And that's the case with Iowa, capital is Des Moines. Charleston is the capital of West Virginia. And to access the Atlantic Ocean, you just have to go to Virginia. So that's 1 border, so it's singly landlocked. Oh, we only had 6 people? Did someone not get a chance to answer?
You finally got me on U.S. geography.
That's right. We got a Canadian. More U.S. questions.
All right. Q9. The English horn is closely related to which of the following instruments? Is it the French horn, is it the oboe, or is it the saxophone? Yeah, so the English horn, it may sound like a brass instrument, but it's actually a woodwind. So the only woodwind out of the 3 is the oboe. Everyone got this one right, which is nice to see.
Actually, the saxophone's a woodwind too.
That's correct.
Oh, my bad there. All right. Question number 10. Time to get it in. Which of these classic sitcoms was spun off into a drama series? Is it All in the Family, Good Times, or The Mary Tyler Moore Show? Yeah, so the drama series was actually Lou Grant, and Lou Grant, I believe, was a character in The Mary Tyler Moore Show. So 3 people got this one right. Let's see what this has to score. Ooh, okay. Brian has made sure the lead is now inside 1,000 points. 2 more questions to go. Let's see what happens here. Q11. Which of these can be a viable solution for brumotactilophobia? Is it a plate with sections, a flotation device, or an air freshener?
Ooh.
Yes, there we go. Another savage question. So if anyone, so those of you that are not familiar with this word, it's actually the fear of two different or different food items touching on your plate. So I actually got to know about this word pretty recently. So this viable solution would be a plate with sections. And it's time for Q12. What's that smell? And it smells like money. Here we go, Q12. Here it is, Q12. The NBA legend who played across 4 decades does not have which of these accolades? Regular season MVP, Rookie of the Year, or an Olympic gold medal? So yes, his name is Vince Carter. He did have a gold medal in the Sydney Games back in 2000, and he did get the Rookie of the Year award, I think, in 1999.
I'm disappointed in myself.
You have two choices eliminated, and that leaves regular season MVP. What does this do to the scores? You have Aaron in third. You have Brian in second. And Chihan stole the show with an impressive 9 out of 12.
That was a Toronto Raptors question.
This game is mocking me. It says top 5.
Top 5? No, serious? That was like playing Big Brain.
That's so messed up. Oh, gosh.
Big Brain is so hard.
You got to find the right category.
Yeah, I can't find the right.
So which question did you folks feel was the hardest? I certainly
one about the
wouldn't
plate.
have been able to Google the Vince Carter one.
Well, that one I was just lucky. I knew it was Vince Carter, and I was hoping you'd ask something that I could recognize. And I knew no MVPs.
Oh, that's pretty impressive, though. That was a pretty tricky 2-set question.
I couldn't remember it was Vince Carter, and I feel even worse for not remembering it was Vince Carter. I knew it was either Vince Carter or there was someone else that was sticking in my head when you said that. And now that you said it was Vince Carter, I feel really bad for not. Why was I thinking it was Karl Malone? That's really bothering me. I don't know. It just wasn't a good quiz. Kind of like Thursday. Just wasn't a good quiz for me. We all have a tough one sometimes. And I think I was like 5 for 12 that quiz. So, yep. Well-constructed quiz. I had a bad quiz. I should rephrase myself.
No, but in all seriousness, this quiz is just as good as HQ. I mean,
that's what I'm saying. It was a well-constructed quiz.
HQ, swag bucks, which I hate. All you people get in touch with a buy. A buy. You graduate what on Friday?
Well, Thursday is the last day of finals week, and I'll be collecting my diploma on Friday. So, yeah, it's going to be really exciting. I can't believe it's all happening so fast. So yeah,
right. We should do a special HQ Diaries on Friday to celebrate.
I'm not entirely sure if I'm going to be free on Friday, but we could do it like the next morning or the next afternoon or something.
We had so speaking of Vince Carter, so he played Game 7 after graduation, and that did not go so well for the Raptors. So
that's right. He flew back to Carolina. I forgot about that. Was like what about like 99, 2000, 2001?
Yeah. Well, I think a few years after. Yeah, it was against the 76ers. There's a lot of controversy, and he just barely missed that buzzer beater. So
wow. Okay. Yeah. But you had Kawhi a couple years ago.
Yeah. Can't complain.
Well, we have something in common. We both hate Kawhi now. No, you probably don't hate Kawhi, though, because, I mean, Kawhi won both of our teams a championship, but at least in the case of the Raptors, they didn't have one before Kawhi got there.
Yeah.
And Kawhi got them one, so.
We tried to recruit him. We had this whole Kawhi and dine thing going on in Toronto where we were trying to give them free eats and free drinks to entice them to stay in the city, but the lure of playing at home was too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, it's a totally different situation than with San Antonio, where they already, I mean, they had championships and got another with Kawhi, and then due to circumstances that were beyond the Spurs' control, he skipped town, and honestly, should have just gone to LA from the Spurs. If you want my, I mean, I'm glad he went to Toronto and got them a ring, but I think it was kind of one of those situations of happenstance more than anything else. Kind of a weird story, a weird. It's going to be one of those things they look back on, and that'll be a trivia question one day. Kind
Maybe
of,
when HQ Sports comes back.
yeah. When HQ Sports, that'll be another one too. What do we have in common with Kawhi? We've come back on 3 different teams, and you know.
Maybe next HQ Diaries quiz we could do more of a sports oriented quiz. I think we'd all be down for that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes,
I have
I
questions
like
for that. I have questions out the wazoo for that.
And maybe I can give one of you the hosting, so you could share your screen or something.
Why you just want me to write some golf questions so you can answer?
You can mix it up.
Oh man, if you write golf questions, I may not do so well, but if you write basketball and football and occasionally a bit of baseball, I might do well. I might do better than top 5.
All right.
What, 5 of 5 today, wasn't I? That's terrible. That's really bad.
No. If you finished 4th out of 7 players.
Wait, how was I 4 of 7? How did we have 7 players?
We did have two viewers enter, so I do have the report right over here.
Oh, viewers! I thought it was just us playing. That's why I was like, wait, I was 5th of 5. That's terrible.
No, not this one.
Okay, I was like, I thought I was 5th of 5. That's why I was over here complaining, because I was like, being last when you're on the show is bad.
Thanks.
So, yeah.
Thank you very much. I like to claim last. I was doing my best impression of my basketball team, the Minnesota Timberwolves, because we don't win anything.
Well, I mean, then you know what it's like. Then I mean, you know.
Oh no, you're showing the results.
Oh no! Oh no!
No, but Abai, you got to go over all the lists and take out all the bots.
Yeah.
That's
That way I can increase my winnings
tedious.
by 6 cents. It'll take me 2 extra months, but I want my extra 6 cents.
My precious 6 cents.
Yeah.
That's another thing I'll just say. Why, if not running, why does an HQ give Abai a contract and he could be approving games? You could approve what, a month's worth of games in about 4 hours?
More like 2 or 3 days, maybe.
Okay.
9821 has the list of bots. Why don't they give it to him?
We could work together. How about that?
Yeah. I mean, I think he has the full list by now.
So is that what they're
Seriously.
doing when they're approving the games? They have a list of bots that they go over?
More or less.
Okay. I never knew what they were doing, so
That's more. They're trying to, and that's why your totals increase by, I mean, not a substantial amount, but depending on how many games you've won over that time period, it could be, and depending on how much money you've won, it could be a substantial amount. Mine are usually like, I don't know, 3 games here, 5 games, so it's not ever a lot for me. But if you're like a VIP winner and all of a sudden they've detected that like 5 bots have lost eligibility.
There are no bots in VIP. VIP
Oh, there
never
are?
changes. Yeah, VIP never
I
changes.
can't remember
Oh, okay.
when the
I
last
didn't know
time a VIP payout got
Never.
adjusted.
Except for that one when they had 2 people winning that card game in Tucson, Arizona.
Oh,
Which
see,
one was that? Oh, wait, yeah, I remember that question. But then I think in that case they would probably have to redistribute the VIP pot so that it accommodates everyone who picked either of the two right answers.
Right.
But ultimately, they can't please everyone, so they have to meet somewhere. They have to find some sort of middle ground to negotiate, I guess.
We wouldn't really know because it's been now, what, 12 days of the, no, 10 days of the new schedule, and we have approximately as much information as we had going in.
Yeah,
And
that's
so do
true.
they. And so do they.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that. I mean, we can't necessarily say that we know what's going on where they are. I mean, we're sitting in front of our phones playing HQ. They're sitting behind a desk, supposedly creating it to what they want it to be. And I mean, if you look back to prior logs, HQ has tried and beta tested games that they just never sent out for approval. I don't know if anyone knows about HQ drops. It was a concept they made that was a QVC like show where they'd like have a little drop thing and they drop like something that you could buy and sell and whatever you want. And that I think got axed around the time that HQ shut down for the first time. I could be wrong, but they've definitely had ideas, whether or not they made the surface or not. Whether or not they have ideas right now, though, that's for them to figure out.
Yeah, I remember seeing a tweet about that, but I didn't know how legit it was. Just like that one about the Dragon Place game that they have going on. I don't. I assume it's real. Maybe it just hasn't hit the market, but it just feels weird to tweet like the little hints about that and then kind of like go back to one game a week of trivia and not really have. I don't know. It just feels like a very strange concept to me to like be tweeting that several months ago and now all of a sudden go to one game a week of trivia. I would hope that they're not intending to still do one game a week of trivia and then like one game a week of this weird draggy droppy game that will maybe or maybe not have a purpose. That would be kind of why not use your resources on more trivia, but that's just me.
You know, that begs the question. Can I just get a show of hands? Who's in favor of having themed games, even though it's once a week?
Not like that, no.
Oh, we're all
If I know
against?
the theme,
Yeah,
I was going to say
yeah.
I gave them a couple suggestions of themes, but I with the caveat in a second tweet of not until you guys have more of a schedule, you know, more trivia games scheduled throughout the week, because I don't think it would be cool if you like said, like, one of the things was like Pokemon, I said, and like the Friends TV show. But I was like, it wouldn't be cool if they like had like a theme night, even if it was something I love, but then like they have like 30,000 people that play the game, but say like 25,000 of those people don't know anything about the theme. So it's like, well, screw it. I guess I'm out this week. You know, I guess I'll wait till next Thursday. That wouldn't really be cool, and it wouldn't be good for HQ. So I don't think they needed to be tweeting about themes, asking for themes right now. They need to be figuring out how to keep the lights on more than one day a week.
That's true.
In my opinion.
Yeah, I think themed quizzes would be counterproductive at this point. In fact, if they're trying to maintain the same number of players, as well as hopefully get more and more contestants on board, the only way they're going to have to do it is cater to everyone with the regular general trivia. I don't know. On a different note, I don't know if all of you noticed, but those of you who play HQ Words regularly, the super spins had disappeared for a while, but now it came back. So I do have all 9 of my super spins back. Is it the case with the rest of you?
Let me double check
Yeah,
that.
mine came back as well.
I don't play
So-
Words, so.
Yeah, I'm
So
with Ben. I
I'm
don't
not
play
sure.
Word.
I'm not sure.
I
what
was
this
able
might
to ask
insinuate.
Anna a question on her Instagram Live. And it was good. I wanted to know when, because I could sort of tell by watching the last episode and what she said at the end. And I asked, I speculated that she found out that day, and they told her right before she went on the air that was the last words.
Wow,
Yeah, she
what
was
way to
like-
drop that info.
Until I see you next time. So that insinuates a much longer break, and
Oh yeah, no.
perhaps
People, you guys don't want to hear this, but it's sad. They would do no more shows if they could.
Yeah.
They're transferring away what they did not work. And the only reason they're doing the show on a Thursday is to disseminate information. Very little, eventually they'll have information, but for them, it makes no sense for them to do any more shows because they lose money every time they do a show. Their future is whatever they're developing right now. The future of HQ is whatever we haven't seen yet.
I will say I got all those super spins back, which is great because right before HQ Words ended, I bought like 25 super spins, which I had 45,000 coins. But what I went ahead and did was I used about 3,000 coins on 25 super spins because I was like, HQ Words is probably over for at least the foreseeable future, but I'm going to go ahead and buy the wheels just in case. And then they took them away. I didn't expect them to just be gone the next day. So I was pretty pressed about that. And I was like, look, give me my coins back. You know, let's be fair about this. Don't just take the wheels away, you know. And so then they were back the next day. My wheels were back. And I was like, okay, that's fair. You know, we got it figured out. But I was like, I don't want them to give the option to buy the wheels if the game, you know, if they were just letting you buy the wheels but not having any more games, that would feel like a dishonest practice.
yeah, I think it was particularly very disappointing to hear about HQ Words going away because every time I'm on a dry run on regular HQ Words is basically my bailout source. Like, unless I'm really having a bad day, I normally make it all the way to puzzle 12 and get my slice of the prize on HQ Words days. But those times are temporarily gone. I hope it returns.
Did you play with your parents?
Sorry, I
Wait a
can't.
minute. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I was just gonna say I can't believe that you win like almost every HQ Words game. I always have such a hard time with it.
Well, two things. So, no, okay, it came. So the consistent winning it came through practice. Like I used to be terrible at HQ Words, but then I've regularly watched Wheel of Fortune. That's proven to help me a lot, and occasionally I'm on a Zoom with friends, and we normally shout out, okay, this letter's in the puzzle, this letter's in the puzzle, or if somebody knows it, they shout out the answer, and we all follow along. So that's proven to be helpul on multiple occasions. I think maybe we could do like an HQ Words all together. Maybe Chi Hung or myself, we can shout out answers if we know it.
I thought you were going to say that you played with your parents, HQ Words, and they helped you win.
Actually, my parents don't play HQ Words, and they're not as relatively quick as typing on their phones. So even if I try helping them, I'm going to have to hope that they type the answer quickly enough so that they don't get timed out. Plus, at the same time, I'm also kind of trying to figure out the answer on my own. So it's going to be a lot harder to help.
You do that tactic in Puzzle 11 where you purposely flub it just to get your full complement of strikes?
Depends how many strikes I have heading into Puzzle 11. If I have all 5, then I try it. But if I have 3 or less, then I burn it.
I didn't think about it until way later, but I do that. Took me a long time to come up with that.
Wait, Chi-Hung, do you burn Puzzle 11 often, or depends?
You know, for me with words, I'm either doing really well, or I life right before, like maybe puzzles 9 through 11. So it's not really like I would never purposely do that. It just happens. I usually have at least 3 strikes heading in. So I don't. I just keep going because I don't know. It seems like if you purposely lose, there's no such thing as momentum really in HQ words, but for me it just gives off like the wrong vibes if I purposely throw a puzzle.
Yeah, normally I think the clues involve some sort of lateral thinking, like unless it's puzzles 1 through 4, which are generally more or less gimmies because the clues are pretty straightforward. Like for example, if the first one from I think it was last week, or no, 2 weeks ago. The first question was the largest state, so I knew straight away that was Alaska. I didn't even have to wait for clue letters to appear or anything like that. But yeah, later on, some of the puns like French architecture, that was a Bezier curve, I think.
I didn't even know what that was.
I had to Google that.
What was that you said?
Bezier curve, Bezier.
Yeah, that's something in France.
No, it's not a place. It's actually it's a geometric curve. I think.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
It's a setting on Paint too. But then, did anyone see Jeff Eisenbrand's tweets about Hall of Trivia?
Yeah, he took the high road, and it's interesting the timeline. I don't think they knew on Tuesday what was going on because they didn't give him an opportunity to say goodbye. I don't think they figured out what they were doing until Wednesday afternoon. They told Anna, and I can't remember if it was Thursday or Friday when Matt said that we're good until Memorial Day. But no, and also it's ironic. I think it was on Monday where he got to host because Matt was still in Phoenix, and it looked like an opportunity for him to step up. And then 5 or 6 days later, there is no more opportunity. And the final thing I'll say about the sports, that was kind of independent. That's the one thing that was self-sufficient. They had the money coming from the Hall of Fantasy or whatnot. But again, it's not worth it for them to do it because it takes a staff. So that's gone. That's gone by the wayside.
It's just such a good idea, that the app. I mean, and I'm not trying to belittle or make light of what it takes to run a company like HQ or an app or anything like that. And I don't do any kind of web designing, and I don't have that kind of brain to do this. But it's just such a good idea and a good foundational concept to have been run to the ground so terribly twice. And it bothers me greatly that we're kind of at this same point again a little more than a year later that we were in right before the pandemic, where these good people are kind of thrown to the wayside and not really given much more than a day's notice. That and like Anna said, she has like 10 jobs, here and there. She's a stand-up comedian. She does this and that. And that's not really the point. It's just when you have a gig like this, to not give anybody more than like a day's notice just feels kind of crappy. I don't know. Just doesn't sit right.
You go through this, Abai. The most thing is he says, what does he say?
So no Hall of Trivia tonight. As many of you know, HQ Trivia is now airing live on Thursday only. Develops the next phase of the app. That puts HQ Sports on a definite hiatus. And he says, will I appear on another HQ Sports show? It's certainly possible, but I don't know. Either way, thank you. Thank you to all the HQ Trivia staff for giving me a chance to host this awesome show. And thanks to the HQ fans for accepting me these past few months. He will continue to host the Hall of Fantasy League beyond Hall of Trivia, and that's his main focus right now.
Right.
So
the key word there, though, I was telling Ferg, indefinite hiatus. That's not a good term. They don't know when, so that's not good.
I'm kind of surprised that and I was kind of half expecting Jeff to leverage his association with the NBA Top Shot into HQ either as a prize or like packs. Like they were the craze for a while. Just being able to purchase a pack, you had to be part of this exclusive club or actually no, it was random. You were randomly assigned the ability to purchase a pack, and I thought that would be a natural tie-in with HQ Sports and his association with both companies. I thought that would be a great fit.
Yeah, even though there are a lot of things that I didn't know in HQ Sports, it was still a pretty fun quiz. Like, I like how Jeff Eisenband hosted it. He asked quite a wide array of different questions, and in fact, I was able to enlist the help of teammates quite often. But I guess it is what it is. But now that the super spins have appeared, does anyone here feel that HQ Words might make a comeback? Like at a much later stage?
Oh, yeah, I think it will, but it's going to take a long time. And I'm not sure who will be hosting it.
Then I think that there was another comment on Twitter when the HQ Sports had tweeted next chapter of HQ Trivia. And somebody commented, are you referring to chapter 11 by any chance? Mic drop.
Yeah, I really am a little surprised that we just haven't gotten that tweet yet or that notification like we got the last time where it was like, it's been a blast HQ news. Yeah, exactly. I'm a little surprised that hasn't just happened because it was so fast the last time. That comment, will we even need hosts for the future of the app? Yeah, probably not.
I mean, they could do it without a host. Who here thinks that hosts are absolutely necessary?
They need hosts.
No,
they most definitely do because
I don't
because that is the allure. I mean, Eugene was here last week. He said that best replicates the game show feeling, and there are many trivia apps that you could play to win money, right? But HQ was the only one really that there's been imitators, but that was the one that gave you that experience and that has that cachet. If you now, not so much these days, but back then, if you told someone you won HQ, that was a big deal because it was, we didn't have the friends results. You had an extra life, but not much more than that. To go to where they go hostless, similar to the daily challenges, that'll be what it's like. And I don't know about the rest of you. I don't do the daily challenges. I'm always hard up for coins. Maybe that's obviously related. I'm not able to always purchase lives, but it's just I have better things to do in my day than just to do trivia to accumulate coins. Whether that's real money that you can win, maybe more incentive. But I think if you remove the host, it's just you lose that aspect that made it so unique. I can't see it happening and surviving.
I hear what you're saying, but I think too that they're paying the hosts something. I don't know how good they're paying them. I mean, obviously not super good, but they're paying them something, so that is a cost that they're putting up every night or every time that they have a game. So if they're really looking to cut costs, that's where they're going to be looking. And I mean, I'm that's not why I'm against my whole deal is something else that I don't want to get into, but this is what they would be looking at if they're actually looking at it as a cost prohibitive measure, in my opinion.
I agree with Eugene and Ji-Hung. It is whatever it was, 6 o'clock, I would sit down and it did feel like the pressure of being on a game show and the fact that there were so many people playing and the host added to that. But then as I started, big brain, there's pressure there and I'm in the middle there. The host makes it unique, and it did, as I said, in spite of all of HQ's faults, it is that's what Eugene said, it replicated a game show. And it's too bad that they have never been able to capitalize on that.
Not to monopolize here, but I think what changed my opinion on that is the like when the VIP started and they stall for time and different things that are not as genuine to that experience of hosting a game show. You know, I mean, like when you're hosting a game show and there's kind of a fixed, like, this is 15 minutes, you know, and you go from there, that's one thing. But when you have to hit 75 or 100 people, and so they're stalling there for time, and it's this, and then there's like, or in sports where there's, you know, we're taking a break in the middle because we have to, type stuff. I think that's where it loses me a little bit. And I'm like, well, we could do this without a host and run through these questions real easy, like. But I see what you're saying, but that's just, I think, for me, where I went from I like the host aspect to I needed to not give Scott Rogowski so much crap in 2018, because now I'm seeing that it's not his fault that we have this game this way, you know.
I see Ben was shaking his head when I was talking about when I first brought up the question. So I'm curious to hear your reaction, Ben.
Well, I mean, Chi Hung and Brian, I feel like really kind of like made me like realize the good side of having the host and everything. Like, I can understand how people feel more excited about it, like, since it feels like you're in a game show more. But I was kind of thinking of it from the side of, like, if Matt's running late, or like Jeremy, you were just saying for VIP, even though I like the stalling VIP because I always do it, but that stalling too, it all adds to it. Like, and I know in the reality of life, like 5 minutes, I mean, it could be a decent amount of time if you're super busy, but like 5 minutes isn't crazy long. But when you're just sitting there staring and waiting, I feel like that could generate a loss of interest. I don't know. But if it
you get the notification and then it's, you know, yeah.
I mean, though, still with sometimes I don't know, because I guess I'm always in the app, so I don't get the notification if I'm in there already. I'm normally in there at 8:56 because I can't. I just want to get every second I can of it. But I just feel like if you did take out the host, then it would be the more 15-minute maximum sort of thing, and maybe that would, in a way, like from that side of it, more people would be interested, that it's like you're not just sitting there wasting time. And I would miss like hearing about or seeing Reggie all the time and seeing Nate and all that. Like, I like that. That makes me laugh every time I see that, and Oprah now. But I like all those little things sometimes, and then he goes off on a tangent sometimes. All those little things like can add up to minutes that go by when you're not playing the game. And I just wonder if maybe that some people like lose patience, and then they're like, I don't feel like listening to this, because I'm looking at the comments and it's like, hurry up, next question. I know in Swag Bucks it's even worse for Hal, because he doesn't shut up after there's a savage question.
That's exactly why when I do the screen recordings, I swipe away the comments. It could not be a bigger distraction, honestly.
Yeah, I always have the comments swiped away, in Swag Bucks at least. But
even in HQ too. Well, I play on an Android phone, so I can't swipe away the comments. But if I'm playing on my iPad, if I'm doing VIP, then yeah, no comments. Let's see. I don't think we've heard from Ferg, who's been pretty silent about this. So it's your turn.
You know, my thought on it's kind of like shifted a little bit here and there over the course of the question. In the base principle, can they run the trivia app without a host? In the base principle of it, like the bare minimum, yeah, they definitely could. We've seen trivia apps, albeit they probably may not have given away money, succeed off just the trivia aspect itself. I don't know if you guys remember when Trivia Crack was a big thing back in 2015. Mm-hmm. You know, there was no host there. There was just a wheel, a subject, a trivia question, or even if you want to go further back, there's Quiz Up that had a lot of topics similar to Big Brain. They had an XP system that you could level up and you could just compete with someone throughout the world. So in the basis of what trivia is, they don't need a host, but it may not be a matter of the basis of what trivia is. It may be a matter of what HQ wants. And in my opinion, if HQ is going to stay true to the one motive that they've had, which is like this interaction, this interactive kind of trivia game, then I do feel like there is a certain point that you need a host or that you need someone to kind of continue the flow of it as it's going on.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Now that we think about the hosts, does anyone here have a favorite host? Anyone can take this one. Well, let's see. I think. Well, I'll start. I think Matt Richards is pretty entertaining. I think Jeff Eisenband also did a pretty good job for HQ Sports. I think Anna Roisman is quite fun too, but I think I've seen the most of Matt Richards. You know, the host for the most, holding it down from coast to coast, smooth as the butter that you put on your toast. Yeah, money flipping Matt Richards. So who's everyone's favorite here?
You know, going back a good ways, I would have to say Scott was pretty good. I think he just kind of thought that it was going to go one way and it went a different way. And unfortunately, he wanted to do several things at one time and wasn't able to. So it kind of didn't get to keep on at HQ, and that's a shame. But also I liked Sarah Priebus, and I don't think she works at HQ. Someone else likes Sarah Priebus. Aaron likes Sarah Priebus also, and I don't think, as far as I'm aware, I don't know that she works at HQ any longer. I haven't seen her host a game in months. But if she does, I hope that they would have her host some more. I think they could shift the hosts a bit more because, like when they had that 8-day break, because they were like, "Oh, Matt needs a break." I'm like, "Well, no, duh. He's worked like 400 nights in a row doing this. It's several hours a day preparing. I'm sure. Yeah, they all could use a break. I understand it was a pandemic, but it seems like they could have, I don't know, had some more people ready to like say, okay, it's your night, give Matt a break, something, because that doesn't feel like it would have been too much to ask.
Well, what about Asaf or whatever? Is that someone's name at HQ?
Yeah, that's the producer. He's one of the producers, and it seems like he's also been working most of the nights. I know that they have another producer, but Gab is a producer.
Yeah,
but
that's right.
I think she's been either ill or something. She hasn't been there because I know they've been saying they've been thinking about her, and she's, so I don't know that she's currently with them, or I don't know what the situation may be. I want to clarify. I don't have any inside info, but I think there's been something going on there that they've been sending her well wishes. But I'm just saying, I would be hopeful that they could shuffle around people some more so that they don't feel it necessary to take 8-day breaks if they go back to a daily schedule.
Ben, who's your favorite host?
Oh boy, I struggle with all of them. Like I said, I don't play HQ Words anymore, so I don't really see Anna. For me, I'm kind of going to answer who I like the least, and I won't explain who I or why I like them the least. But Jeff, I never have liked how he's done it. But yeah, I mean, Matt's okay. Sometimes Matt can be a little over the top, but I think he can be really funny. And then I wish I got to see more what Scott was like back then, but I didn't really play it. Like I played it like a couple times and then I think I quit. But I wish I got to see what he was like more, but yeah, I don't know. That's why maybe I'm more on the side of with people that want a hostless game. But no, Matt's definitely. I guess if I had to pick, I would say Matt. But
look, Jeff, he didn't say that. Brian, what about you? Who's your favorite host?
Now, I'm actually the opposite of Ben. I like Jeff. And the lady before him was good. What was
Lauren
her name?
Gambino?
Yes, she was good.
That's her. Yeah.
Yeah, Matt. Yeah, Matt seems like a good guy. I have his act memorized, but he keeps it light. I think a few nights he shows up a little lit up. I'm just speculating, but he seems like he is. I don't know where he's coming from. I've only seen this on the Instagram. Yeah, no, they have a good group, but the key is they don't want any more hosts. They don't want to be doing this. I mean, that's what's sad is they're who agrees with me that they're trying to get away from what they're doing right now?
Well, I don't think they want to be a company anymore. Is my thing.
What? No, they have. Why would they not want to be a company? They like to make. They're trying to make a living.
It just doesn't feel like they want to exist. They went from a game a night to one game a week, and it just feels like they're not telling their people anything. And
you could say they're trying to exist by just scaling it back to one day. And I think in an effort to be transparent, they were, I think, too quick to disclose information that they didn't have, with Matt Richards saying, "Oh, we have an announcement," and it's about an announcement.
Yeah. Maybe next time don't announce announcements.
But they had to. They figured it out that every night that they host, they lose money that they could be using for their future survival. So right now they're spending all their available time trying to reinvent themselves into something that can be played all the time, something that's on demand. I don't know. Do you agree with that, Chi-Hung?
Yeah, I mean, in whatever form that they come back in, with or without a host. I agree with what you're saying. They're trying to find a formula or a game that will generate some excitement. They may need to borrow from different industries to capture that lightning in a bottle, so to speak. Things. HQ sort of went through its peak before, much like other apps, like Pokemon Go was huge for a while, and it's just. I don't know if they can just make slight tweaks and regain that fan base. It's almost like they need to do something totally different, and maybe just keep the HQ part of their name and call it HQ whatever, HQ greatest new app type of thing. And maybe in that sense, once they sort of figured out what they wanted to do, they'll make that transition, and then that'll generate some excitement. But these sort of incremental differences may not be enough to do it.
Yeah, I think that sounds about right. But then again, HQ had several moments to show that they had improved and that they were proactive. But as we discussed, I think last time around, they've come up short on multiple occasions, and now it seems like I had asked a couple of friends, "What do you think of this current state of HQ?" And they said. The correct phrase is circling the drain. And I know that sounds pretty harsh, but I really don't want it to be true.
Well, that's my thing. I mean, I don't mean to be, super critical, but it's just the way that they've gone about things to this point. And I'm going back to the previous time they were in some trouble, and, they went away for admittedly a shorter time than what I thought, with the idea that I figured they would come back. But when they came back, I thought that they would not necessarily come, be in this position again. And I thought maybe they would come back. Obviously there was a pandemic going on, so there were things that I expected to happen that did happen, like not having just a wealth of people available. And that's why Matt hosted so far. I think have they even had another HQ trivia host in that time? Has Sarah or anybody even hosted HQ trivia?
Sarah did.
She did a couple times, right?
I think once or twice.
Yeah, but not very many, I don't think. He's hosted almost every HQ trivia game that they've.
Well, that's because, as you said, before he would travel around on a Thursday night, be somewhere like it was in Phoenix. He'd be traveling all the time. They needed a host. During the pandemic, he was always in New York City. But the way I look at it, I've talked to Ferg about this, is it's great they came back, and Ferg and I talk about it. We did much better personally in HQ 2.0 than HQ 1.0. In HQ 1.0, we barely won. And this last one, I've made like $1,700. But the point being is they came back in March of last year, and then whatever it's May or June, they're no better off. It's exactly when they came back, they're exactly in the same spot, and so that's why they're doing a big. Why should they keep doing this every night? Other than we could play, you follow me? Isn't the smart thing for them not to do it?
Right, but that's my problem with it is that it's been a year. Oh yeah, Sharon did host once, and that was so strange. Why have her back once and not?
That was the one with the guest host, I think.
Yeah, didn't they advertise it for like a month, and then it finally happened? Or they advertised that game forever, and then it finally happened, and I was like, I really thought that was never actually happening.
I found it super weird because I think
wasn't it glitchy?
The other woman who hosted it, she had plenty of technical difficulty at her end, and I think Sharon ended up having to read a bunch of the questions as a result.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think that that only like 2 or 3 of the questions actually fired off correctly, which is unfortunate. But that again was due to the pandemic. It just didn't work the way they intended. But they advertised it for like months on end, and it was Sharon's only opportunity to host, and that happened, and it just felt like a really weird analogy for what we've all gone through. And I felt really bad because that was her one time, and they never brought Sharon back to host a proper HQ game. And I mean, I kind of felt like Matt would be kind of mad because he, has had to do this every night for, a whole year. And I was like, well, as soon as HQ, as soon as things start opening up, HQ is going to be like, we've been doing this every night. Why do we have to do it? And, sure enough, things opened up. HQ was like, no, we're good. And we're here. It just bothers me. I don't know. I don't mean to be pessimistic, guys. Sorry. Someone be optimistic for me.
You know what? I think on this note, I think it'll be a good time to round off the discussion. Yeah, so I think we can do it this way. So closing statements plus prediction on what might happen to HQ next. Let's start with Chihang, and then we can go counterclockwise.
Oh boy. So I think they'll do this once a week thing for a while.
Like a month, a couple months, something like that.
Well, probably throughout the summer would be my guess. Like if they're short-staffed, I can't see how they would have enough developers to, code whatever it is, the new feature that they're implementing. I think it'll take not only a bit of time to get that up to speed, but to have beta testing and to make sure that it works properly. I can't see this being a short-term scenario where it only goes a month. I say at least through the summer, maybe end of the year, they'll have something to show, to display. But that's sort of my take on it. Whether or not they sort of even last that long in terms of their funding, that's sort of up in the air as well.
Your turn, Ben.
Yeah, I was gonna say that I'm hoping that they even last long enough that we get to see them go back to being every day. I wasn't really around when they went away the first time. So I don't know exactly how that went, but I've only kind of heard some negative things about that whole experience. So I'm not super hopeful, but on the positive note that we were trying to look for, at the least we could say is that there's a game scheduled for Thursday. So that's a positive. But yeah, I don't really know. Because, like I said, I wasn't around when they went away the first time. I know that their communication is definitely not a great strong suit of theirs, so
That's way too generous.
so I don't know what to expect. I'm content with having once a week if that means that they can figure this stuff out and try to get back on track to getting a bigger audience and going back, maybe even if it's not every night, like doing 2 games a week, if they could build their way back to just more frequent. I'm willing, and it's not like my willingness matters or any of ours matters, but if that's what's going to get them back on track, I'm fine with that. So I'm just excited for Thursday, and hopefully it can be like last Thursday for me.
Fingers crossed. All right, so Jeremy, I think it would be good if you address the comments. So the 4th anniversary is the end of August. Something had better be announced by then. So what do you say?
Yes, I was actually going to address that. So we had the same mind there. I think the 4th anniversary is a good time to address the future of HQ. And honestly, let's see, this is the beginning of June. I would be okay if now, not right now, but if sometime between now and August, if they took just maybe a 2 or 3 week break of games and just said, we're just going to take a couple weeks, not any longer than that. We're not going to go away completely, but we're just going to take like a 2 week break here, really hunker down and assess our future and have a more concrete plan to announce to y'all in time for our anniversary. I think that would be the best thing to do instead of focusing on handing out another $5,000 or $10,000 if it's 2 weeks. I think that might just, it wouldn't be a huge break that we have to say, oh, HQ's gone away forever. It would just be a slight pause in the action. They'd save a little bit of money, and we would get a better plan in time for the 4th anniversary.
All right, and Berg, it was nice to have you here for the first time. Let's hear your reactions.
I'm going to make my prediction under the assumption that they have the funding to make it through. I'll call this the improvement era of HQ. I suspect we'll continue with this 1 week per game, or 1 week per, or no, 1 game per week segment of HQ to keep that following, keep the biggest fans of HQ, or the biggest, or I don't want to say biggest, but like the consistent players around, keep their attention grabbed. And then behind the scenes, they're going to work on a lot of features, a lot of changes, and the things that they've been teasing, like the rearranging words game. I think there was like a crossword kind of game they teased. They've teased single player, multiplayer on your own kind of games while they work on developing that, and then making HQ, I'll call it HQ 3.0, the best model they've ever made for themselves.
Love the optimism. And Brian, you're next.
Yeah, no, I just enjoy these Sunday nights. It's like we're on the Brady Bunch here. We sit around these squares, and even my friend Ferg has joined me. He's right next to me. No, I think, the Thursdays will exist as long as they need to exist. They're not there. The Thursdays are the past. They exist to keep people informed. It's more so they don't want to do shows on Thursdays. They want to do whatever they're doing next. And I do believe, other than not approving our cash outs, they're feverishly working behind the scenes, trying to develop what is next so they can transition. And hopefully, as Ferg says, that they have enough money to get there. And for me, the good of HQ is this: bringing 6 strangers together, 2 countries here. 2 countries. How many states? We'll call Toronto's not a state, but we got me and Abai are close by. But we got 5 different areas here, and that's the beauty of HQ. Just as long as we don't have Nigeria and they're cheating there. I'm joking, but it's fun. It's fun to be here, and I just thank Abai for setting this up.
Well, I really appreciate those words. As far as my prediction is concerned, I think HQ might have multiple games a week again. But I don't know if the purse is always going to be $5,000, because I've always suspected how do they get this much funding, and how are they able to pump in $40,000 a week? And and they've been struggling with dealing with cash outs for the better part of the past several months. So the only logical way they may rectify this is like maybe hold games maybe during weekdays with the $2,500 purse, or maybe go down to even $1,000 purse if things aren't if the situation isn't optimal at the time. So I really hope that they can assess the situation. I hope they can finally figure things out, and I hope we get to play a few different kinds of games. Knock on wood, I hope HQ Words returns, and possibly HQ Sports too, because I like the variety. And it's also, on a quick side note, if we go back to the quiz, the one where I mentioned bromotactilophobia, I actually have that. I hate it when foods touch. So I wrote that question to see if anyone had heard of it. So yeah, with that being said, I think thanks everybody for coming, and have a great night, and good luck to everyone on Thursday. Take care, everyone.
Thanks.
Thank
Have
you.
a good night,
Thanks.
guys.